love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will, and today I'm taking a break from Kane's content creation, but I want to thank all of you for supporting my new episode on the hiring of our new defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman. It's been great. Thank you so much for all the support, all the comments, all the shares, and also new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining the 305 Sports Now family. But I do want to talk about the Miami Dolphins, as the Miami Dolphins ended with a very disappointing season. A lot was expected, and they totally underperformed this season under Mike McDaniel, Chris Grier, and Stephen Ross's leadership. Okay, so we expected some change, especially going 8-9, but there really wasn't, at least not at the top. Okay, Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel both get to keep their jobs, and many of us wanted both fired. Many of us already wanted one or the other fired, whether it's Chris Grier or Mike McDaniel. But the bottom line is none of them were fired, but they did end up sacrificing a couple coaches so far. And that would be Danny Crossman, who was long overdue. He needed to go. Our special teams was not very good, with the exception of Jason Sanders. And the one that tended to shock a lot of people, including myself, was the dismissal of Wes Welker. Wes Welker, who was pretty popular, I would say, with the players and popular with the fan base, and many saw as not the problem in general, was dismissed by Coach McDaniel, ending his tenure here as a Dolphin head coach from 2022 to 2024. So before I break down the firing and break down the wide receiver production, which is one of the main reasons why he was scapegoated in this situation, Wes is a former Dolphin, okay? No matter what, I don't care how many years he spent in New England, he's a former Dolphin. 2004 to 2006, he gave us some pretty good memories under Nick Saban. Nick Saban would end up trading him to Bill Belichick right before he left to Alabama, doing Bill a solid, screwing Miami over, because you usually don't trade within your division, okay? It's a big no-no. And Wes Welker would end up being a Dolphin killer. But the bottom line is he had a heck of a career. 903 catches, almost 10,000 yards in receiving yards, and 50 touchdowns for the former slot receiver. Ends up following Mike McDaniel from San Francisco over to Miami, and he was liked, okay? But the thing with the Miami Dolphins is that the Dolphins are a very two-man, wide receiver heavy type of football team, or at least Tua makes it seem that way, as he only seems to look for two guys when going through his progressions. A little different this season, but in his progressions. In 2022, Mike McDaniel's first year, the Dolphins did very well offensively. Okay, Tyreek Hill, his first year with the team, he had 119 catches, 1,710 yards. Okay, 1,710 yards and 7 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle had 75 catches, 1,356 yards, 8 touchdowns. And Trent Sherfield had 30 catches, 417, and 2 touchdowns. Pretty good year, but again, only really two guys really got the load of the ball. The third man only got about 30 catches, but it's not too bad. Then you have Tyreek Hill, again, last season, with I would say, about the same thing, 119 yards catching, 1,749 yards receiving, almost got a 2,000-yard season at receiving, 13 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 72 catches, 1,014, 4 touchdowns, and Braxton Berrios, 27 catches, 238 yards with 1 touchdown. Now, this is what got Coach Welker in some trouble. This past season, Tyreek Hill, a major drop-off, 81 catches, 959 yards receiving, almost 1,000 yards though, but 959 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 58 catches, 744 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then you had the emergence of Malik Washington with 26 catches, 223 yards, but no touchdowns, okay? The wide receiver position took a major hit this past season as Mike McDaniel and the offense became a bit more run-heavy. But Wes Welker was not the problem. He was scapegoated in this situation. Because of the depletion in terms of wide receiver yardage in general, he was easy, the one to be easy to be picked to let go. But let's face facts, okay? Miami's offensive line sucked, okay? Especially the guard position. You would find these offensive linemen in the backfield on many occasions 2 yards deep, and Tua having to make a play and scramble and get pretty much to Jonnu Smith, the tight end, the first-year tight end for the football team, as a major security blanket. That in itself was an issue. a lot of checkdowns, a lot of screens. Devon Chan, they ran the ball considerably a lot more this year than I would say in years past. So I will say this much, that Wes Welker was not the problem. Another thing too is that Tua Tagovailoa missed 6 games this season, and Snoop Huntley's performance in many cases, Mike McDaniel, especially when he first started, was running, it seemed like the same offense he would run for Tua, who's in year 3 of Mike McDaniel's system, the same one he ran with Huntley, who was basically just picking up recently, off whatever they picked him off. I think it was off of waivers, whatever case you signed him off as a free agent. I forgot what if he was in a team earlier. So feel free to mention the comment section. But the bottom line is he was picked up and he had to learn a new system. And I felt like they ran the same system with Snoop like they would ran with Tua. That's why the first game was atrocious, with multiple motion infractions, false starts, illegal motions, etc. It was a very rough game for Snoop, and I blame Mike McDaniel for not simplifying the offense for his quarterback. That being said, Wes Welker is dismissed. That's the main reason why I believe he was dismissed is because of wide receiver production, and they scapegoated him, and all the controversy with Tyreek as well, especially the last game of the season when he basically quit on his team. All right, when he said, "I'm done." That came out on film. There's no disputing that. He pretty much decided to sit down and quit on his team. So that being said, it is what it is. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But my personal opinion, Wes Welker should have never been fired. He was not the problem. Okay, he definitely was not the problem. Okay, wide receiver production was not very good. They relied on the running game. The tight end position saw some more run this season as well. So that's obviously going to reduce the yardage, the receptions, and the target rates of your wide receivers. Also, I'm gonna be very blunt as well. They're playing a lot of high cover 2 on Miami. Okay, Tua Tagovailoa does not have a strong enough arm, so if there is a busted coverage on a cover 2 to get the ball to his receivers, so that is something that also I think needs to be addressed. I like Tua. I'm rooting for Tua. He's a worker. But a couple things about Tua that we have to face facts. He's very injury prone. Your franchise quarterback cannot miss 6 games throughout the season. That's a major problem. That's why I'm in strong favor of drafting a backup quarterback this season that could potentially replace Tua if need be, especially since it's just a 4-year contract. I think that's something that they need to entertain in the front office, aside from building up the offensive line through guard play. All right, I think guard play is very important, and then you work your way through the tackles as well. But I do believe the Miami Dolphins need better offensive line, okay, especially in the guard position. If you're gonna get rid of Raheem Mostert, which it seems to be trending that way, you need to get a bigger, stronger back. Okay, I was on Doll's Diaries a couple days ago, and it was mentioned about Cam Skadabu, okay, taking over, the Arizona State running back. Or I like, because I'm a Canes fan, and, I'm one of those guys that wants to draft Miami Hurricanes always. I am in favor of, if possible, you can even draft Damian Martinez, because he could do anything you ask him to: block, receive the football, and run between the tackles, and run outside the tackles as well. He's big enough where he could get you first downs on 4th and 1, and he's quick enough where he could run outside the edges as well. So that's what I'm in favor of. But firing the wide receiver coach at this time was not the way to go. Wes Welker was not the problem at all. You had a issue with locker room culture. That was an issue that falls on the head coach. Okay, and you had an issue, with the fact that the quarterback was injured quite a bit during the season, missing a lot of games, and that's a personnel issue as well. The bottom line is whatever the case should be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. I'm going to stop rambling. All right, thank you so much, guys, for supporting the show. God bless you guys. Please remember, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now, guys. God bless you guys. Go Fins. We got to be better, guys. Bye-bye.